Hello, and welcome to episode 32 of the All Night Gatherers podcast. Our topics for this week are actually pretty embroiled in controversy, everyone. First, a technical issue led to an upset in the Kaldheim Pro Tour Top 8. Then we move on to possibly the ugliest card art ever. And then, card art that was most likely stolen. Anyway, hi, howdy, hello, let's get started. So our first bit of controversy this week in the Kaldheim Pro Tour Top 8, two-time champion Shahar Shinhar in a match against other champion.
Is that guy's name? Hold on, stop. Is that guy's name the same name twice?
No.
I heard Shinhar.
It's Shahar Shinhar. He's the only two-time world champion for Magic the Gathering. He's an Israeli player. But he was in a match against Gregor Kowalski, and they were playing on Magic Arena, as one does nowadays. It's the hot client, and they can't have an actual tournament in person because of the pandemic. They were in Game 2. Shahar had won Game 1, so if he wins this other one, he takes the match. He was about to win it, and then Arena crashes. So they have to reset it to Game 2. But they don't do it right, so they have to reset it to the beginning of the match, and then he ends up losing. He was only maybe a turn away from winning. So our opening topic, is this, as terrible as it sounds for something that should be an established esport at this point, It seems...
Why can't they reset it?
They don't have a spectator mode in the software. So there's no proper way for them to, because between games you side out cards to better suit your deck to play against your opponents. They can't control that and then just reset to Game 2 and have all the changes from between the first two games siding wise still take place.
Amazing.
Right. It's terrible. It's really bad.
Sucks.
So anyway, pretty off the bat, that's the worst thing ever, and they need to fix that. Second one, and I know you guys have already seen this. This is possibly the ugliest Magic art ever. It's our Mystical Archive version of Faithless Looting. Great card. It's going to be in the historic format now. Making waves. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have seen it already, but I put it in chat just in case.
That's not real. That's not real.
It is 100% real, and when it was spoiled on Twitter, everyone thought it was fake. Now, if you look at this artist's other work, it's a miss for me, honestly. So, anyway...
I don't know what you're talking about, Mayo. That's obviously a masterpiece.
No, you can't tell me that's... I'm not going to buy that. There's no way that's real.
It is 100% real. And
the funny thing is...
This entering into Historic is a big deal for the deck that I play in Historic is at Phoenix. So if this ends up being a very cheap way to get a showcase version of this card, I will most likely buy 4 of it.
Pain.
So anyway,
Hey.
I give up. Let's talk about video games.
April Fools.
Hello.
We're so hilarious. We spent all of 10 minutes coming up with that.
Lasted this long.
We'll probably have to put something in the title to make sure people don't get thrown off. Like, what is this?
Although I will say, for those of you curious, both of those topics are true. And the one that I didn't get to, the copyright art thing, also true.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, good job, Mayo, on the intro. Please rate him in the comment of the YouTube section of this video. So anyway, welcome to the actual All Night Gamers podcast.
By the way,
yeah,
one option is 10 out of 10.
What is this week? 32. He's got to rate it among. They've got to rate it among those other 31.
Yeah,
it's an S tier episode, guys. Don't.
Yeah, it's already great. It's already great. Yeah. So welcome to the actual All Night Gamers podcast. Let's get into some actual video game news. Mario's dead.
Crabrave?
Yes, RIP, Crabrave, all those things. We will read a short on-the-fly obituary about him momentarily. We've got more stuff to talk about the PlayStation Store shutting down, more Switch Pro rumors, because we know you love them, and more really, we just can't stop talking about it. We'll talk about the disaster of an amiibo launch that was last weekend, and finish up with a official 2020 year in review of the Nintendo Switch. So, Mario, born in 1981, was a great all-around handyman capable of doing everything from plumbing to carpentry to typing tutor.
Graffiti cleaning, also. Civil servant Mario.
Doctor. Carpentry.
Spaceman.
His twin.
He did a lot.
World traveler, Zeppelin operator.
Canonically, monkey abuser.
Canonically, dinosaur abuser.
We are not here to speak ill of the dead.
A bad loser.
Very bad. Yeah, a terrible brother.
Not here.
Yeah, in tennis. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's tennis.
Luigi when he loses.
He also, was not very kind to Bowser Jr. when Bowser Jr. just wanted to save his dad. So, maybe we're here to talk about how Mario is actually a bad person.
Yeah, you know what? Good riddance. That guy kind of sucked.
Y'all homies hate Mario.
If you've somehow been out of the loop living under a rock for the past 6 months, Mario's death day is the day that this episode releases of Mario 31st. Super Mario 3D All-Stars will be taken off of the eShop store.
Good job.
Yeah, I know. I'm not doing good for myself trying to do better than your intro. Physical copies of 3D All-Stars will stop production. Also, Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon will no longer be available on the eShop, and Super Mario Bros. 35 will be shutting down as well and no longer be available. So
that's the real sad one.
Yeah, and I wish I could tell you to get it now. The only thing I can tell you to get now is you better hope the store near you has some copies of 3D All-Stars left if you don't have one yet, because that's going to be your only shot. Maybe it'll be like the Wii when All-Stars came out and they made it a limited thing, and then a couple years later we're like, you know what, whatever, and made it again. As like a Nintendo Select. Now that I mentioned that, when are we going to start getting some Nintendo Selects? I missed that.
When the Switch stops selling.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But we were getting like Nintendo Selects.
But look at Mario
3DS,
Kart
like pretty early.
Yeah, but the 3DS nearly crashed as well. They got lucky that they dropped it $100.
Yeah, but like it ended up selling pretty well, and they were still, doing selects pretty early. Maybe Nintendo's just too good of themselves to do cheap things when they're selling.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It still hasn't been dethroned.
Yeah. That's really become apparent with like Skyward Sword being obviously not worth $60 and them charging $60 because they know they can. Like, people will be upset about it, but they're still going to buy it. They know they can. Like, so they're not going to do anything less because it sells.
Fair, Skyward Sword didn't really sell that well the first time.
Yeah, so
for a lot of people, in Nintendo's mind, for a lot of people, it will be the first time they played the game.
But it's still an old game. Like, it should be like at least $50. Like, come on. I don't know, but my point is that they're going to do it no matter what people think.
They're going to do it no matter what.
They can.
But I think it would be fine if they just, made it actually HD.
Well, we'll see. It's still a long while off before it releases.
Not really.
And
yeah, it is. Well, I mean, we don't know a lot about, like, we don't know what new features have come and stuff besides like motion controls and Amiibo.
I remember they said they filmed all that before COVID. That's a year-old video.
Oh, is it? Okay, I must miss that.
They said COVID would affect these dates, so obviously the video's got to be older.
Anyway, Zelda's not dying, Mario's dying. So, if you're hearing
Zelda's
this and you don't have 3D All-Stars, I'm officially sounding the alarm to go try to find one if you haven't yet. because otherwise you're going to be fighting scalpers, and
Right.
that's a losing battle.
Although if you can get it today, there's a fair chance that they're going to have oversaturated their market.
Fair point. Anyway, so rip Mario. He will be missed. Moving on to PlayStation. So last week we talked about the PlayStation 3, PlayStation Portable, and PlayStation Vita stores rumored to be closing. They have confirmed to be closing in other countries. Have they confirmed to be closed here?
And they said it will close at different times, but I checked our site and they hadn't listed it yet. But seeing as like every other PlayStation store was listed, starting to list it, I assume we'll follow.
Yeah, it's coming soon. So that is confirmed to be happening. So if you have stuff on those stores you want, buy them now. Make sure your console's in good condition so it'll last a long time.
Well, they said that you'll still be able to download. You just can't buy.
Okay, so it'll be like the Wii store.
Yeah.
Which is good because if you want to be able to fix your PlayStation if the battery dies, then you need the store to be up.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, with that mentioned, Pro rumors are back. We know you love them. They're tasty. It's more from Bloomberg, and I have a tendency to listen to Bloomberg because they're a business website. They're not a gaming website, so they only report about stuff if it's like business worthy. Like if it has something to do with their stock possibly going up, or like them making business moves. So there's going to be a new chip with better graphics and processing capability, basically. It will be available this year for the end-year holiday season, so probably a November launch, if I had to guess. Possibly with the drop of some Zelda stuff for Zelda 35th? Maybe?
I could see that. I don't think they'll go Nintendo Switch Lite like they did with Pokemon.
Yeah. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they drop Breath of the Wild 2 with it just for
Oh yeah, no, that would
sales.
arguably be a better sell.
Yeah.
If it comes out this year.
That's true.
Yeah,
They might just put a bundle together, if the rumors are true, of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. Like, throw those three together in a bundle with the Switch and charge a lot.
I don't know if they charge for, or they give people Skyward Sword and 2 other games when they're charging $60 for Skyward Sword by itself.
It's going to be rumored.
They could charge $60 for all of them. It's individually. It's more that they could put them.
Well, I don't know
with the Switch and add 180, but make the Switch.
I don't
Zelda
think anyone's going to buy a Switch for almost $500, and that's if it's not if the Pro
Japan
doesn't.
does all the time.
It's rumored to be $400 for the Switch.
Okay, fine, $600 for a Switch and 3 games. Like, I don't know about that one.
Yeah,
people would.
They would, but I don't think Nintendo wants to look that bad. So I'm
not
sure
with a new system.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do the bundle, like where it's $60 for Twilight Princess and Wind Waker combined. And
no, they'll be sold individually. I was saying that they might do it with the Switch, though.
Well, there had been reporters saying like, don't worry that they'll be bundled together for $60.
They said Skyward Sword will be with them. People make up stuff all the time.
I didn't see anything about Skyward Sword being with them. Like Skyward Sword's supposed
that
to be
was
60.
last year. They were claiming that the 3 would be bundled.
It's not,
I'm talking about
Zelda 50.
I'm talking about
35th.
stuff that came out after this big direct that we had recently, where like when everyone's first reaction about Skyward Sword being 60, a lot of reporters were like, "Don't worry, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess will be bundled for 60." But then that is just rumor. So I mean, you know, your willingness to believe me is just as strong as my willingness to believe you over things that we're just saying right now. Nothing matters.
Rumors are so hard to believe because usually they're wrong.
Yeah, like there's all those
GameCube Virtual Console
all
boys.
those green text that's like, yeah, we're gonna get Game Boy Advance, GameCube, DS, N64, and Game
Dude,
Boy
that is
Color
such a
all in the
pipe
same
dream.
time. Yeah, I know. Like that's such a pipe dream. I mean, I
Do I
would
want it to
want
be
that.
true? Yeah,
Absolutely.
but is
Yes.
it gonna be? No, they're gonna make Wind Waker and Twilight Princess $60 each
Um,
because nobody besides us
But
had a Wii
the
U.
question is, will they re-release the Wolflink amiibo?
No,
Sad.
what are you gonna buy?
I
3
don't
more of
know,
them? You
maybe.
scalper?
I am not a scalper.
Cameron's a
Scalper.
scalper. Oh yeah, we gotta tell our listeners. Cameron's a scalper.
I am not.
We'll get to that when we get to the amiibo stuff.
That's true.
Yes.
So DLSS, I feel like I say that every time we are on the show. DLSS will be there, but it's said that the games require supporting code for it, so it's there more for upcoming games and not really so much for games that already exist. Now, I'm sure it can be patched. Games like companies can release patches for the games to support it, but
They won't.
Nintendo might release it for their
Nintendo will, and I'm sure like some random developers will. Like all of a sudden, random games will be like, hey, Azure Striker Gunvolt's getting an update for DLSS.
Azure
like,
Striker
cool.
Gunvolt.
But yeah, so it's kind of focused on upcoming titles instead of existing ones. That was reported by several different people, like externally. So that's something that sounds believable. Like it wasn't made to be backwards compatible. There's going to be that OLED display upgrade that we talked about. So 7-inch OLED screen. I still think 720. A better CPU with increased memory, obviously. People reporting this as not to be identified, and you're probably like, well, of course they didn't, but that's also could just be made up if these are all fake. But if it's true, obviously they wouldn't want to be identified because otherwise Nintendo would ruin their life.
like that person.
Nvidia and Nintendo both declined to comment on the matter. So,
well, obviously, if it's true, oh well, yeah.
But if it's false,
Sure, we want to announce our thing, and if it's false,
by being forced to, and if it's false, then you just made people upset with you.
I mean, you can't tell anything from them declining the comment. They don't comment on anything because they don't want to encourage rumors, because that makes more people itchy to dig into their stuff and try to figure out what's going on. Yeah. And they don't like that because that means more work to keep it secret. So yeah, that's. I mean, I guess we'll see. You know, like we got a long year ahead of us. But I am very excited that I will be having a job, so that way I can afford it if it's real. Because I will be simping hard for it.
I'm hoping I will have a proper job by then.
So yeah, Switch Pro rumors out of the way. So let's talk about the Amiibo launch of last Friday. Cameron, I know you're itching to say a lot of things. So if you didn't know, 3 Amiibo released last Friday: Banjo-Kazooie, Terry, and Byleth. And also
Smash.
And also the Target exclusive Sanrio Animal Crossing cards. The Smash Amiibo, I mean, it's fine. They're still kind of going in and out of stock as of this recording, actually, online. So, it wasn't bad. Banjo and Kazooie looks amazing. That is definitely one of my top 5 Amiibo now. That thing looks so good. I love it very, very much. If there's...
sorry. I agree, because like the stand, they did a really good job. Kind of like Joker's, where it fits so well instead of like the piece stand.
Yeah, with the puzzle piece on it, it's just...
Yeah.
If you get one Amiibo out of that, you should get the Banjo one. That just looks so... They really went above and beyond on that. It's amazing.
I feel like they actually tried to make sure there was stock of Banjo, too. Because he seems to be the one that's most common right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was... I mean, if you had to pick one that would sell out the most in America, it would probably be Banjo and Kazooie.
Mm-hmm. Put the stock for Byleth in Japan, where it's most likely going to sell. And then...
Terry gets nothing.
Terry gets nothing.
Dude,
It's almost like no one remembers the Neo Geo except for Sakurai.
What's that
dang.
quote from Scott the Woz where he's like, Neo Geo's cool and it has its place in history, but I'm tired of people acting like it's bigger than it really is.
Yeah.
He's like reading off a whiteboard or something. So yeah, that went well, but the Sanrio cards, now that's a different story. If you were one of the poor unfortunate souls who wanted a pair of Sanrio cards, or a set, I guess, then you know exactly what I'm about to talk about. So basically what happened was at 8 a.m.
Target's bad.
Yeah, Target's very bad. 8 a.m. on the morning of, they went live
For all areas.
for
Every part of the country, they all went live at 8 a.m. Central Time.
and
It went poorly.
it proceeded to pretty much not work. You could add them to your cart fairly painlessly, but then when you tried to check out, actually no, I take that back. I had a hell of a time trying to get it into my cart with Drive Up, trying several different things. I was also in the app for the first little bit, and that did not work. It worked better for me on desktop, and that's actually how I ended up getting them. So I assume that was probably the better thing to try, was being on like the desktop site. Now, once you got it into your cart, it was a total crapshoot if Target's store was going to be like, "Oh, we're having problems. Try again later." And you just try over and over and over and over and over again until you either got one in your cart or your Target.
Told it was sold out.
Yeah. So now the reason that we got to mention that Cameron's a scalper here is because he bought 4 of them, and we don't quite know what he's gonna do with them.
Look, one was
He's
for
gonna scalp
Haley.
them.
He's gonna,
obviously.
yeah.
No, one was for Haley and one was for me.
Okay.
So why'd you
Now,
buy 2
you see-
more?
Yeah, you see how
I was
the math
told they
works.
were sold out
You see-
by the guy. Look, I was standing there at 8:15. I'd been standing there for 15 minutes trying to get them into my, get them to just purchase. And then their team lead for electronics was like, just completely blew me off. So I was like, fine, I'm going to prove him wrong. And I got 2 more ordered.
Yeah, to show it to the poor underpaid worker at Target, he gave Target more money.
Ooh, watch out.
Yeah, like, oh, I know, we gotta, this guy's serious here.
One of Target's board members just like has a heart attack somewhere, and their final words are like, "He bought 4."
I'm gonna show you. Here's an extra $12.
I mean, I also bought a Dark Magician Girl Yu-Gi-Oh! Playmat, so...
Oh my god, you bought one of those. you thirsty, horny on main, gamer-faced sucker. You
Scalper.
big dumb. You big dumb.
I didn't realize that was gonna. Okay, now we got 2 heated people in the show today.
God, okay. This is a slight tangent. Okay, so they have had those in stock at the game store that I go to for so long, and the only people that buy them are the people that retweet the stuff that you retweet. I do not
Cooper's the one that retweets that.
Okay, then I'm surprised that Cooper didn't get it, but still, it's the same type of thing.
Oh no, Cooper got a body pillow.
It's like, why do people care about this Dark Magician Girl playmat? She has never been a good card in Yu-Gi-Oh! And the dragon on it, no one cares about anymore, because it's from that weird arc of the anime where they had to fight Atlantis or something.
Hey,
why do they care about it?
They released those cards. They just released those cards.
We're gonna stop. We're gonna stop here for a second. Mayo, you and I and everyone else on this show knows exactly why people care.
Oh no! I was being sarcastic there. I know why it is, and I know that the cards for the dragon just came out. But the anime where they introduced it is from like 12 years ago.
Probably more than that.
And it's just because of the yep, Grant's right. Okay, I'm done. Let's go back to calling him a scalper now.
Yeah. Horny scalper, dude.
Yeah, horny scalper.
So this went from a Magic the Gathering to a gaming to a Yu-Gi-Oh podcast. Let's go.
We're covering all the bases.
Don't forget Target bad.
Oh yeah,
Target.
and Cameron Bass.
So, anyway, yeah. Despite that, those are out. I hope you were lucky enough to get them because you bet they're being scalped. You bet they're being scalped so hard. But what you get in the pack, if you don't know, it's Hello Kitty based. You get 6 cards of Rilla, Marty, a toilet. I really want to say toilet.
A toilet?
But no, it's like a toilet without a T.
Toilet.
Like E with a thingy on it. Toile. And essentially, it's essentially toilet, but fancy.
Toilet.
Chai, Chelsea, and Toby. I really like Marty. I think he's the best out of the group. And the art is cool. I like these cards. Especially for $6. You know, it's like a cute little thing to get a bunch of cards with.
Too bad they ain't gonna be $6.
Yeah, definitely $6 now. I wonder if they're gonna be restocked at all.
Yeah, I hope everyone bought it before Cameron bought your copy.
I did not.
Your 2 copies, sorry. Those specific 2 people that would have gotten that
You're gonna
otherwise.
put those cards on your playmat, you freak.
Wait, you don't even play Yu-Gi-Oh, right? I'm
No,
back
I
on this
play
now.
Yu-Gi-Oh. Look, I
Okay.
have Yu-Gi-Oh. I have a Yu-Gi-Oh deck. I do play it. I just haven't played it in a while because the only other people I can
He
play.
needed a playmat with titties on it.
Okay, the only way I would have been madder at you would have been if you did not play it and you just, like, hung it on the wall or something.
He was considering that. He was.
That was a joke.
See, I have 2
Bro,
playmats that I am considering putting on the wall, but it is not a Dark Magician Girl one. It's like because the art on it is super serious and I like the artist's work. It's not because, haha, Dark Magician Girl in new bikini art on Dragon.
You see, but yeah, Cooper uses that thing for things he retweets. He's like, bro, I just like the art. So that you're walking on
Get him.
You're walking on
You're
walking on shaky ground by saying you like the art. What art do you like, Mayo?
The art that I like is not that kind of art. I will send you the playmat that I'm talking about,
Okay.
or I'll send you the card.
I believe you.
art.
I believe you. You're not a horny on main guy.
Yeah, I'm not a degen.
Oh, that's horny on main and degen are 2 different things. But so yeah, best of luck. Consider yourself lucky if you got some of the packs. Obviously, some people like Cameron over here had no trouble getting several packs, but a lot of people
Hey,
had
look.
their sold out.
I would not call that no trouble. I spent an hour almost trying to get my first purchase to go through.
You know, I'm only saying this because of your reactions, right?
Oh, I know.
That's great.
Yeah, but most I know
I
several.
don't think it'd be as fun if I
lots
wasn't reacting.
of people had their entire store sell out within like 5
Before
minutes.
they
so-
even could get to. Some stores let people just buy like as many as they wanted.
Yeah, that was mega broken. But yeah, the cards are cool. Hopefully they do a restock. If they do, we will certainly mention it here, so you get a second chance. But who knows anymore? And with that disaster now discussed and Cameron being exposed, let's move on to Collector's Corner. This is the weekly segment where we go around and talk about game pickups that we have, if any, and the games that we've been playing this week, and things like that. So, who hasn't gone first in a while?
I think I have in like at least 2 weeks.
I don't know the last time I was first.
Well, scalpers don't get to go first, so Mayo, you go ahead.
Oh boy.
Scalpers
There you
go second.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, that's how that works.
No, and then we'll get to them. We'll be like, "Oh, we're fresh out of spots. Oh, you have to pay us twice the amount of
actually,
money."
this just in. I'm taking all 6 spots on the Collector's Corner. You could pay me $75 for a spot. I'll give you my Venmo. I'm kidding.
And
you
the
go
shipping
ahead.
will be terrible. I'll get my other card game thing out of the way quick, since we already kind of had quite a few of those already. Digimon tournament this past Saturday, I didn't do as well as I did at the previous one. I got 6th out of 11. I think that some stupid crap happened with some other decks, but this isn't the podcast where I rant about card games. Viewers, if you would like a podcast where I rant about card games, let us know. But anyway, actual video game wise, I've been playing more Hades. It's really good. It's such a good game. I can't stop playing it. Like if I realize I have the time to play a video game, I'm like, okay, I could play Hades, or I could like try and get through more of The Witcher, like Kingdom Come, or something more like cerebral or whatever, like Stellaris. But it's always no, I want to play Hades, just all the time. But Binding of Isaac Repentance comes out in like 2 days, so
I keep forgetting to look that up. I gotta look that up like right now.
it's really good. It's pretty much going to be like a sequel to Rebirth. It's so good. But the only reason it's like that is because it's taking one of the most popular mods that existed for Rebirth, Anti-Birth, and they basically hired their dev team and were like, "Hey, make a really big expansion where it's going to double everything in the game that you have to do." So expect my takes on that next week. I'll probably buy that at release and play a little bit of it, but Hades is great. Still can't beat Elysium though. I'm starting to figure out what synergies work and the play styles that I like. I just unlocked the those double claw glove things. Those are pretty fun. I like punching the shades. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I've played. It hasn't been a busy week school wise, but it has been a busy week everything else wise. So next,
I'm looking. Oh, so it's gonna come to Switch and PlayStation later this year.
yeah, and some of the stuff on Switch is going to be a little different. Not any of the content, it's just some of the graphical effects surprisingly can't run on Switch,
Wow.
even though it's a 2D roguelike.
Wow, it's gonna be a full $60 physical release
Oof.
for this. I hope it is like you can also just buy the upgrade on the eShop or something.
It's going to be interesting how they handle this with Switch. I think they're going to have to get it right because the lastability of the franchise, I think, will rely on it being successful on Switch for the foreseeable future.
Mm.
But I don't know. I'm going to play the PC versions. It could bomb on Switch for all I care. I hope it doesn't.
I mean,
What a great attitude.
It probably needs to not bomb if you want the franchise to continue.
Yeah. On the most popular console for indies.
Yeah. Okay, so the I think that people who have the base game on PC just receive Repentance.
It says you require Rebirth on the
Yeah.
Steam page.
But then the pre-purchase for the bundle says it's $15, so maybe it'll just act as a sequel for the same price that Rebirth is right now, which I'm fine with, honestly.
Well, yeah, okay, Scalpers go second. Cameron, go ahead.
Oh my gosh. I haven't even sold anything because I haven't even put them on eBay.
Yeah, you're waiting for that value to accrue.
You're waiting for us to forget about it.
Look. I'll look up what they're going for right now, okay? Anyways, so let's see. This week, I've actually gotten a fair bit of stuff in. So I got all 3 of the Monster Hunter Rise amiibo early from Japan because GameStop was supposed to have them Friday, and they delayed them. So that was fun. But I've got all 3 from Japan now, so it's fine. I got in the collector's edition that I was mostly getting to make sure I got the amiibo. I'm not sure what to do with that yet. I got the Sanrio cards.
4 of them.
Yeah. And someone else didn't.
Hey, lots of people didn't.
2 others people didn't. Well, okay, look. To be fair, it's probably like a 60 to 7% chance that just some other scalper didn't. So,
yeah,
does that make it better? Not really, but it doesn't make it worse.
Not really. But
I still feel the itch to insult Cameron.
What? Because of the Dark Magician Girl playmat?
No, still for both.
I see.
Don't worry.
I could make Mayo sad. It sounds easy.
I won't be sad until you start scalping Digimon or Magic the Gathering stuff.
Look. No. Oh, straight up. there was someone.
I thought we were sad about Dark Magician girl things.
Straight
When
up.
I got
Straight
when I
up.
got to Target on Friday, so I could try to see if they were one of the stores that was going to sell them early, or in person. There was a person outside that was like, "Yeah, no, I'm here to get the cards." He was like, I'm a shoe reseller, and now I'm going to get into baseball cards."
Oh my god.
And then he followed me back to electronics because he didn't know where the cards were.
Bro, shoe scalpers are a whole different breed.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
They really are. Okay, okay, we're done with the scalping. Continue.
Okay. Anyways, so let's see. Monster Hunter amiibo, Smash amiibo, Sanrio cards. I bought my own copy of The World Ends With You, Final Remix for the Switch, because due to the sequel being announced, it is getting very hard to find that, and it's going up in price on eBay. So if you want it, you might want to find yourself a copy. That's everything I managed to get my. Oh, the Monster Hunter Rise controller. I also got that.
Nice.
It's been an expensive weekend.
That is true.
So in terms of games, I've played Super Mario 3D World, Animal Crossing, The World Ends With You, and Persona 5 Strikers, because I did not get time to play Persona 3. I was really tired this last week, even with being home 2 days. It's just, going to the doctors is exhausting.
Definitely agree.
I also played Mario Kart for the SNES because I'm working on a project for the channel. Speaking of projects for the channel, Alex, that splitter wire we need for the Wii U is in the mail, I think. It should have arrived today. I saw the notification for it.
This just in, we are now a medial tasks around the house podcast.
Alex is dead.
Yeah, Alex is apparently dead. Well, I'm gonna go. I never go in the middle. I always go first or last. So I'm gonna go. Let's see. Not game wise, I got a COVID shot. I am now a approved representative on Microsoft computer products, so please hit me up for that. I got Disney tickets, big exciting, going for graduation. I got well, that's all the non-game stuff, I guess. Game wise, I got the 8BitDo SN30 Pro Plus controller and the Game Boy theme. I've had it for about 2 days now, and I freaking love it. It is probably my new favorite controller out of everything I've used. It's by far the best for 2D games. It's pretty close to a DualShock 4 in terms of 3D games, except with a way better D-pad than a DualShock 4. And button layout of a SNES controller. So I've been using it on my Switch. Great, wonderful. For heavily 3D things, I probably still prefer a Pro Controller or something of that, just because I prefer the Xbox style layout to the PlayStation style layout, which this controller is. But for 2D games, nothing beats it. I've got it for my new emulator setup that I've got, and it's got analog triggers, so that means I can play GameCube games with it. And also playing like SNES Online and NES Online on the Switch is just perfect. This is the best 2D controller for sure, and a damn near perfect 3D controller as well. I've been playing Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, Stardew Valley, Donkey Kong Country 2, which I need to beat. And I've still been playing Mario 64. My goal now, I wanna experience TikTok Clock. I've never experienced TikTok Clock. Everyone says it's like one of the best things, but you have to have like 50 stars to get to the place where TikTok Clock is. So I'm trying to get there. And I'm gonna play through that.
I have enough stars because I have like 70. I just haven't gone and tried some of the other levels.
You need 50 to get to the 3rd floor of the castle, which is where TikTok Clock is.
Yeah,
that's what the internet tells me. So I really want to experience
the low level stars because I was trying to complete it. I'm still gonna try to complete it once I eventually get back to it.
And today I added a bunch of Game Boy Color and NES games to my emulator library for my game key thing I talked about. It's working really well. I had to fight with it to get PS1 working, but everything else has been a breeze, especially Nintendo games. People have really gotten that down pat.
Does Sony really have a ton of emulator stuff like that fully functions?
1 and 2, yes. 3, no, because of the architecture, which is making it really annoying that they're about to close the shop and that they just shut down the website. 4, no. Vita, no. PSP, probably.
The main reason it wasn't working is because I use RetroArch as an emulator bank, and then I run Launchbox on top of that. So basically Launchbox makes a pretty little page for me with all my games and all their box art and everything and manuals built into it. And then when I actually run a game, it runs them through RetroArch, which has a specific set of emulators for every system. But Launchbox only has certain emulators programmed, unless other than that you have to add a custom one. And the PS1 emulator that they had as their default one was not available through RetroArch, so I had to get an external one. And PS1 emulation documentation online is way, way worse put together than any sort of Nintendo emulator, because people just don't care to emulate PlayStation as much. So it was kind of a hassle, but I got it working. So now I can play like Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That's really why I got it, is to play something like that, or Parappa the Rapper, or like really expensive PlayStation games that I want to try. And I played Mega Man 2 on it to test out the NES one was working. And boy, is Mega Man 2 good. And a little bit of Black Ops Cold War Zombies, because I like it. That's it for me. Cooper, you go ahead.
All right. So like what I've been playing this week.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Good. I wasn't gonna answer that. Episode 32. What do we do here again?
It's described almost every week.
Yeah, dude, I literally explained what we do here like 10 minutes ago.
Just like how I do in class, I do on the podcast. I don't pay attention.
I relate to that. Except you should pay attention in the podcast. No, I don't relate to that. Yeah. I pay attention to the podcast. I don't pay attention in class much, but
exactly.
I had to pay attention in both.
So I bought from a scalper, aka Cameron, and I got the Sanrio Animal Crossing cards.
You ain't paid me.
Dude,
no,
caught in 4K.
You haven't paid me.
Hey, I'll pay him on the podcast.
Pay me right now.
One-handed, because I had to have one key.
Now, how much money are you handing him at this moment?
$3,000, man.
No, Cameron. Okay, Cameron, how much money is he handing you at this moment?
Hold on, I'm waiting for him.
A lot of money. Hang on, that's all I have in my wallet. 1, 2.
Cooper's shipper confirmed.
That's a 3. 4, 5. 5. 6. All right, guys.
See, that's not scalper. That's Robin Hoodie. He's buying a bunch of them and then giving them to people for MSRP. That's different.
True.
Not even this is cheaper than an MSRP. MSRP.
He even covered tax for it. Yeah.
Exactly. So now I own them. Let's go.
What?
And
Literally, I just now got the Sanrio cards.
Yeah, for real, during the podcast. That's crazy. Not a scalp from online. Alright, but I've been playing Fire Emblem Heroes like the usual. I've been playing a good bit of Brawlhalla and well, that's about it. Yeah.
Short and sweet per the usual. Okay, Alex, finish this off.
Alright. So I bought a lot I probably don't need, but we're not going into that long list.
What is the one thing
No,
we do here as
look.
collectors?
Please, Alex, look, do it.
Okay.
How much are we talking?
We're talking
you
like
don't wanna
almost
know.
$200.
Oh
You don't know.
my! Of digital content?
Yeah.
Dang, that's a lot.
Wait,
of
no,
digital
over
content.
200, I think.
Shut up!
You were
Quit
buying
telling-
stuff on the PlayStation as well.
Quit telling how much I spent. Nobody needs to know. We'll just cover the Wii U purchases. Alright, hold on. Let's see. Okay, on the Wii U. Now these are just... Some of these I just bought because I was like, oh, I want easy access and I don't know when Nintendo's going to give it to me. And 2 of these I bought so Cameron could make his video he's working on. Let's see. Fire Emblem. The GBA one, as well as Sacred Stones and Shadow Dragon on the DS. Minish Cap, Skyward or Spirit Tracks, and Phantom Hourglass. Mario Kart Super Circuit.
Wait,
and...
okay, I'm gonna stop. Is this $200 of?
No.
Okay, so how much?
This is just
I was gonna
U
say
purchases?
if it was I was gonna say if $200 on the Wii U and all you bought was Virtual Console games, you got like
Ripped off.
30 games.
No, I didn't.
Don't worry.
200 on the.
He didn't
Virtual
just buy
Console
Virtual
on the
Console games.
Look, on the Wii U, I think I spent maybe like 100.
So you still got
Okay.
okay, that's not as
Well,
never
no,
mind.
because
I'm not-
I bought Fatal Frame Maiden of the Blackwater, which is an actual Wii U game that costs $50.
Oh, okay. So
But
you got
like,
so you,
you bought another game.
Yeah, and I
You
bought
left it out.
Super Mario 64 DS and
That's not what I
Pandora's
was talking
Tower on the Wii
There you go.
and Dr. Luigi because I felt like Nintendo was never going to port it.
they aren't.
Exactly. So I was like, well, one day they're going to shut down the Wii U shop if Sony's told me anything. I'll buy it,
Sony's told you.
but don't have to think about it later.
Shops.
What?
Nintendo already shut down the Wii shop. Although
That's
that was-
old news, bro. That's old news.
No, my favorite console.
The most expensive thing I bought on the Wii was Fatal Frame Maiden of the Blackwater,
Okay.
which is some sort of horror game that Nintendo owns. Or at least it's exclusive to them. They own all 5 games have been only on Nintendo consoles, so I assume they own it.
Are you still not? Do you still have more games?
Do you want me to keep going?
I mean, you say as much as you want to say. We already know how much you spent, so.
Let's see if there was any big purchases.
Have you played any of them yet?
No, I haven't had the time.
Feel that.
Well, I did play stuff this week, just not anything I bought this week. I did spend 3 hours. I bought Dissidia Final Fantasy 12 and its DLC.
Nice.
And to move DLC to the PS Vita, it's the hardest thing I've ever done. Oh my god. It took me 3 hours to actually do it. because you can't download PlayStation portable DLC straight to a Vita console. You have to download it to the PS3 and then get the connection to actually work, and then you can move it from the PS3 to the PS Vita or Vita TV.
And Sony wonders why that solution that they offered was so underutilized.
Yeah, I had to turn off two-factor, and I had to go find wires upstairs and plug it in to our router physically.
Nice.
Yeah. Just to get it to work. And I was like, this is so hard. I'm not buying any more PSP DLC.
Well, at least you did it all
Too
now.
difficult. Yeah. I was like, if I do it, I'm download. I stayed up several hours because I was like, it's working right now. If I walk away, it will stop working.
It should be noted that Alex bought me the Mario Kart stuff because I bought Disney's Villainous because there was a new copy or a new expansion while we were at Target. That's about what I expect.
I don't think they've played Villainous. Garrett, we gotta play it when you come down or when we go up. We'll bring it, I guess, at least the base.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, as to what I've actually played this week. I played through and beat help me out, Gamebox. I don't remember names right now. My mind's not working after that test. Virtue's Last Reward, which was the sequel to 999. So I completely beat all its routes, and then I started the final game in the trilogy, Zero Time Dilemma, which brings back characters from the first two.
Well, all right then.
And then I spent a lot of time studying for test.
Same.
And I still don't feel confident about the one I got to still do.
Well, okay. That wraps it up for Collector's Corner for the week. On to the tidbits, Cooper, for Faye.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hang on. Filler while I pull it up. Magic the Gathering's pretty cool. All right. All right. So we got. God, I can't pronounce names. We got Dagger's Mythic Banner, and it's going to be out by the time of this podcast. And overall, it's pretty stacked. Honestly, green colors are going to be the best. A couple, weekly and revival banners, whatnot. We're starting to get the spring revival banners, so those are always pretty cool. Resplendent Reinhardt is out until April 9th, and then replacing him will be Resplendent Micaiah, and then my weekly reminder to log into Faye at least once before April 10th to get your free copy of Duel Lin. That's either like a fodder or honestly one of the best duos in the game. Whatever, it's free, so you might as well just,
If you play, get
Sign
it.
up and sim.
Grant, I'm just saying, man, free duo. You just gotta log into
He
Faye.
doesn't know what that is.
It's like Mario, but Mario and Luigi. It's crazy.
Mario's dead.
Mario. Look, we had the obituary and everything.
Okay.
He was a plumber, not like the others. Come on.
Hold up, Luigi is the best, bro. He literally has a vacuum.
Luigi isn't dead.
He literally has a vacuum.
What? Luigi died several years ago, Cameron. He had his year.
Yeah, but his stuff didn't get canceled. You just bought Dr. Luigi.
True.
He's still up, bro. He's still kicking. His anniversary started almost a decade ago, and he's still going.
Mario kind of sucks.
Cooper, keep going.
I mean, if you were the face of Nintendo, you could do what you want too.
True.
What, die?
Yeah, apparently Mario wants to die. Well, and here's what's crazy. Mario's 25.
He's dead.
That
Huh. Every time a drinking game, listening to this podcast, every time we say Mario's dead, take a shot.
Mario's dead. Mario's dead. Mario's dead. Mario's dead. Mario's dead.
And
Mario's dead.
Mayo
Mario's
has
dead.
just killed our audience.
Great.
Well, Nate,
Thanks.
And
Thanks.
to wrap up my Phase stuff, keep a heads up on Phase Twitter because they have a Twitter poll right now, and it's going to be ending on the day of this podcast for the next 4 Jumons and Banners Revival. Currently, it's the winning vote. Yeah, the winning vote right now is a New Future, which has Brave Dimitri, Brave Edelgard, Brave Claude, and Brave Lysithia. And I'm believing that Sparks will be a thing, but only like one time, most likely. And that's it.
All right then. So moving on with our tidbits, there's a new the new Pikmin mobile game.
I'm very excited for that.
You're
Except also
only
kinda
you.
not. I also kind of not because Niantic is not very creative, so it's gonna be Pokemon Go.
Oh,
Okay.
Pikmin Go. Pikmin forward. Pikmin continue. Pikmin
Yeah.
Hey, Pikmin, go.
commence
Pokemon
forth.
Go.
Pikmin to baby?
No.
Oh, well, okay. Never mind.
I think the question is how they're gonna do it, because I heard with the Harry Potter one, it was you went around and collected stickers. Pokemon Go works so well because you're getting to actually use what you're wasting time.
Well, I assume you'd be collecting like the villains or something of the enemies, maybe their corpses. You have to fight them.
Kind of looks like you're collecting fruit from the.
I see. There was a trailer.
Oh, there was not a trailer. Was there?
I don't know.
No.
I figured that's where you got the info.
No, I'm basing it on the promotional image. The promotional image had 3 different colors of flowers that aren't normal to the game, and 2 of those are from the multiplayer versus. No, they're from the multiplayer versus. So it's very much going to be 3 teams at least for competing against each other. How they're going to pull that off with a Pikmin game, I don't know. I would not be surprised if they've just got Alf, Brittany, and Charlie from Pikmin 3 leading those teams.
It'd be cool if they brought in all 6 captains or created new ones, but somehow referenced the other ones. That'd be more interesting.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So yeah, new Pikmin mobile game in development. A new Resident Evil showcase is dropping in April. Hopefully, we'll get some news on the demo, or maybe get a drop of the demo. I'm excited. I'm very excited for Resident Evil 8. So that's big. That'll be coming next month, and we will certainly talk about that here. But that's pretty much all we got. Reggie is stepping down from GameStop. As much as I want to make it's because GameStop's so bad that he couldn't stand it joke, he's on a rolling board from what I read, and he was just kind of planning to step down after a year or so.
And
regardless.
what a year.
Huh?
Reggie joined and it saved GameStop. What else are you gonna do?
Well, yeah, he doesn't need to be there anymore, dude. Freaking Wall Street Bets is carrying them now. Everyone on Wall Street Bets, they've been taking all the money that they've made. They take some of the money that they made from the stock and will buy like 15 Switch Lites and a bunch of games and go give it to children. Yeah, at GameStop, and they will then give it all to children's hospitals for kids.
Oh, speaking of
what?
GameStop, though, we were there recently. They are. I knew that this was a plan. I didn't know it was already in action. They are now selling PC parts.
Yeah, I saw that. They posted the other day that like, hey, we have PS5 and Xbox Series X stuff going up, and also some graphics cards. And I was like, graphics cards? So, because that's also being scalped right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was. Turns out he wasn't going to be there long, regardless of how well they did. But yeah, he's officially stepping now, though. So Reggie's gone again. Who knows what he'll do next?
My extra Sanrio cards for a graphics card of high caliber.
Yes, I will give you 6 cards for one RTX 3090.
Yes.
Can I make one, so outlandish that it might actually happen prediction about
ahead.
Reggie's immediate future?
Let's hear it.
Okay. He will go to one of 2 places. Microsoft or Epic Games. Prove me wrong.
I was kind of hoping you were going to say Arby's.
He worked at Pizza Hut before he worked at Nintendo.
Well, maybe he can save them because they're garbage.
Hey, maybe he could become the new face of Papa John's.
Isn't
Honestly-
that Jack right now?
Dude,
Maybe he could become the new face of Papa John. I
yeah,
don't know.
he does not need to be the next Papa John.
Yeah.
I have been thinking constantly about the headline. Papa John himself has been, quote, trying to rid the N-word from his vocabulary for the past 20 months. Like that's a real article headline, and ever since I read it, I think about it at least once every couple days. It's always on my mind because I find it so hilarious. Like the idea of him sweating and shaking like an addict, trying not to say it. That poor
Don't eat it. I don't eat it.
The memes that came out of that were so hilarious. Anyway, Xbox is releasing new controller colors: Electric Volt, which is like a bright neon green, and Daystrike Camo, which is like camo, but it's like red and gray instead of like green and brown like usual camo. I think those are already up for pre-order or something like that.
Yeah, I saw them up earlier.
So I really like the Electric Vault one. I think that color's cool. But then again, I have a bad feeling it would stain pretty easily. I don't know. They might take that in consideration and make them resilient to that. Also, they're made out of a lot of post-consumer recycled plastic, which that's a good thing. So good on Xbox for that.
Yeah.
Triangle Strategy developers say that they're aiming for a 50-hour-long game, but expect it to be longer than that. Hopefully we get more info on that, quote, before it gets cold. Does that mean before people lose interest?
No, I think they asked if there's going to be more info later this year, and the devs were like, we're hoping it's going to be before it gets cold, so...
Oh, so like by end of fall.
Yeah, well, maybe mean
like fall-ish, like probably early
fall,
fall. Yeah.
Fall to winter. Yeah, I don't
like September.
It doesn't get cold here, so I don't know what.
It's cold right now.
That doesn't count.
What?
It is almost April. I don't think they meant almost April.
Well, they're wrong. It's cold. Come on, where's the news, devs?
Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory added a brand new cutscene in its latest update. Cool.
I looked into what it was because I play a lot of Kingdom Hearts.
And
so essentially when Kairi goes into the final world, they just added a cutscene of the people monitoring her, making sure her vitals are fine.
Okay.
Freaking out because something's wrong is happening.
Now, why? We don't know, because the game was fine without it, so...
So yeah,
they added it.
That exists now. Crash Bandicoot 4 requires permanent online connection on PC to play because it's on Battle.net, and that's just a lovely feature of Battle.net. If you own any game on that platform, you already know exactly what I'm talking about. But instead of playing an online game like Call of Duty or Overwatch, now you have to have it for a single-player platformer. We love it. We love to see it. The Among Us airship, SUS, has confirmed to be coming to U.S. time zones after the 31st. So basically, instead of it dropping at like 8 p.m. the night before, because it drops in Japan or something, it's going to drop probably day of, actually. So if you're really itching for Among Us on Switch, there's that. Speaking of Among Us, I'm sure you've heard in the news about the boat in the Suez Canal, and if you look at a picture of the back of the boat, the pattern in the boxes is both the Among Us guy and Loss. Loss is in there.
Wait, Loss is yo.
Loss,
What?
dude. The Among Us guy is staring at Loss.
No,
I'm not kidding. It is very aggravating. Because there was like no way that just happened, right? Someone did that. Here, I've got the image. I will put it in this.
Guys, you're making Grant
thing.
Sad. He can't get away
you're
from
not making
Among
me
Us.
sad. You're making me go insane. Look at this photo that I put, bro. There's Loss.
dude.
They're staring at Loss. The Among Us guy is staring at Loss.
No way.
So yeah, if you needed a reason to hate
Why?
that boat, it's
Thank
there.
you so much for that, Grant.
Yeah, you're very.
I don't see
Oh,
it,
is
but
I don't
I'm-
want any product
Alex.
on that boat. I don't want anything.
I'm pretty sure it's all oil, is what I heard.
Well, I guess I'm not driving until.
Are you
that
talking about the
oil is
green
sinking.
shape?
Yes. Do you not see it?
Okay, I kind of see it, but
You
I
see Among Us
trained
guy on the
myself.
left, and then you
Alex,
see
I'm-
Loss.
That I posted.
yeah, I see Karen's. I'm trying to train myself not to see Among Us and everything.
So I thought about this because you're going to Disney. Disney's got that Monsters Inc. laugh floor, and I can't imagine going to that right now when the height of comedy is
sus.
saying the word sus.
Yeah, I think that is still closed as of right now. Actually,
Is it?
yeah, for
I guess
COVID.
it,
Like
I
that,
guess
and
it
like
would be.
the Nemo thing. Too.
Anything
like, talk to.
in a theater,
Turtle.
yeah.
Oh, where you could talk to Crush, yeah. That
Yeah,
should be
those are-
closed right now.
Yeah, those are closed. Doubt we would do them anyway. We've got a very busy schedule. And finally, Astral Chain is now an official, fully owned Nintendo IP. Platinum Games is
I
not
mean,
on it
it-
anymore. It's
Ben, right? They
It's been in
announced
the-
that like
they've
a
been-
month back.
yeah, they've been saying that like it's in the works, like it's about to be, but now it's fully, like it's all finalized.
I wonder why.
Who knows? Platinum Games must have got something out of it.
Money.
Either that or
Maybe
Nintendo
they
has
were
a-
just like,
just like what?
well, no, because I was maybe they didn't want people to keep asking them because they were like, well, you ported Wonderful 101 and Nintendo has license on that.
Who knows? Who knows?
Hmm.
It's either Platinum Games got something out of it, or Nintendo has some kind of business hold on them that we don't know about because it's super secrety kind of thingy, and they didn't have a choice. But who knows? And so for the final topic, we've got a discussion on the Nintendo Switch's 2020 year. I know we're a couple weeks late from the actual year end, but so overall, I really didn't like this year all that much.
It was boring. I mean, a lot of reasons, but boring year for Switch.
Animal Crossing was great, mostly because it was the perfect time to get a game like that when society essentially stopped functioning.
Right.
And that was a good month. And I don't know, it was just kind of a boring year for gaming in general. We had console launches, but it's so frustrating with the scalping thing. Like, and trust me, like I'm super hyped that I have a PS5 sitting right next to me, and I've enjoyed that very much. But like even with that, it's like just because like the past couple months have been good for gaming with new consoles and stuff, the year as a whole was kind of not saying we didn't have we had plenty of good games.
Paper Mario,
Xenoblade
Fire
Chronicles
Emblem
Definitive
Health
Edition, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX, Doom Eternal, even though that's not exclusive. I guess this kind of branches out into like gaming as a whole, but like Minecraft Dungeons, that was cool. Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, more Fighters Pass in Smash Bros, expansion pass for Sword and Shield.
Last year was kind of carried by DLC.
Yeah. Crystal Chronicles. Let's not mention that. We got Hades, super good. Um, Clubhouse Games. That was. I really want that, but now that my Disney thing's in full swing, I'm essentially tight gripped on my budget to save as much money as I can for that, and it sucks because I really want to get Clubhouse Games right now.
Well, look, if you wait long enough, it will go on sale. I think.
Yeah.
It's already been on sale, so.
And we did have Mario's 35th, and that was cool. 3D All Stars was, I mean, cool to have. Like, it's very nice to have, but very lackluster in terms of its possibility. Like, it could have been so much better. Like 64 could have gotten actual, more of a makeover.
Yeah.
Galaxy 2 could have been there. And like, we got the main 3 and that's fine. Like, like the GameCube stuff that they added should have been there from the beginning. That seems kind of weird that they didn't have that stuff in the beginning. There's no reason for it to be limited time release. I think that takes a lot out of it.
It does, but they're profiting right now for it. So
yeah, I mean, it's just bare bones. Like, it works. It's fine. It's not broken. It's just so bare bones, which kind of stinks. Bowser's Fury, that's a high point for sure. Really do enjoy that. I'm just trying to think, like, everything is a blur between Animal Crossing and 3D All Stars. Like, the summer was very much a blur.
It was literally only I don't even, other than Paper Mario, I don't even know if there was a big Switch game last summer. Like, let's say you had Fall Guys and Among Us were the big summer games, right?
Yeah, ish, summer fallish.
Yeah, like that's about it.
We got BioShock Collection and some other game from that developer. Some other Borderlands Collection. We got what else did we get? Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it also is because like COVID was just so strong during that time. It's just hard to remember things that aren't COVID related for that time, especially video games, and so much stuff got delayed and messed up. We didn't even get an E3, which like we get why we didn't, but still sucks that we didn't.
I mean, I can't tell you what can released. I can just give you an easy list of what got delayed.
Yeah, that's big facts.
Non-Switch.
See, this is what's so I remember what comes out in summer and what got announced because of E3, and I remember E3 well because of the cringe. And without E3, there's no cringe, and if there's no cringe, I don't remember anything. I live off E3 cringe.
No, all that you need to do is right after you watch a trailer, go and look in the mirror and same effect.
Wow.
Or just hop on here for 5 minutes.
Wow.
And talk to literally any of us.
Man.
Alright, so he started out by bashing you and then bashed the rest of us.
Like, I'll get you a sound clip of just that, and you can listen to that after.
Yeah, this includes me.
Me. Yeah, this year was kind of cringe. Mayo, you're cringe.
No, not just your cringe. Your E3 cringe.
Yeah, that's like another. I'm not just cringe. I'm E3 cringe. That's like. Am I the new Access Lounge? Am I the new EA Access Lounge?
I could say that you were Awesome Games Done Quick cringe or Summer Games Done Quick cringe. That's a step up.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Is it?
In terms of cringe, is that a step? Like, is a step up actually like, good?
No, worse.
Is it Trials motorcycle guy crashing into the TV on stage cringe? Is it awkward lady talking about EA games halfway flirting and making people uncomfortable in the crowd cringe?
Nobody's that cringe.
Is it FIFA cringe?
Well, FIFA's always cringe.
That's facts. But yeah, I don't know. Just COVID sucks, dude. This really sucks.
I'm ready for it to wrap up.
Yeah,
I don't like this season of the World Is Ending show.
Yeah, me neither. But I don't know. It wasn't a bad year, especially given the circumstances. It went really well.
Oh yeah.
So maybe that way it's just kind of unfair to compare it to normal years because it definitely wasn't a normal year, and I know that's like the most cliche stated thing. Like, well, this year certainly wasn't normal, and blah blah blah. I feel like I'm on CNN.
You are. We're CNN.
Dude, Carl Zeus, let's go.
Who?
Cooper's Carl Zeus.
You don't know?
Grant, they played it in history class all the time.
He still works there, I think. Hang on.
When
Wait,
is he
I
still
might know what you're talking about.
The guy that did the news for the children.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about that entirely, and I'm kind of upset that you just reminded me of it.
He's still there. Let's go.
Yeah, I think I watched that in like History 10.
You did.
Um,
Because, all the teachers would play it.
yeah. I don't want to teach anything for 10 minutes, so.
Watch this. We'll come
Yes,
back.
CNN 10. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wish 3D All Stars was better. I wish. I'm still a little salty. Last of Us Part 2 won Game of the Year. And
I wish Age of Calamity ran better.
Yeah.
I know.
Um,
I know with the newer Switches, like here's mine, it does run better, but I've seen footage from the original Switches.
Not good.
It's not great.
Yeah.
It's bad on ours, but
maybe they'll provide some of that backwards coding for DLSS on that game.
they really need to.
Yeah. Even then, it should run better anyway if it's just got a better chip on it.
Mm-hmm.
We got. I mean, I can't really think of anything else. Persona 5 Strikers, I guess. That wasn't exclusive, but we did get it. Apex Legends was a dumpster fire.
Wait, are we just talking about games that came out last year, or just for Switch?
For Switch,
just Switch, right?
Like Apex Legends has already been out for a while.
Oh, dude.
But it
Bigger
came out on
game.
Switch. And
Wait, sorry.
You guys.
Sorry. Last year, the most banger game, and Grant hasn't even mentioned it. Come on now. Ninjawa.
Oh.
Ninjawa.
I thought you were gonna say
That
Hatsune
was
Miku.
trash.
That I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
shouldn't have heard the comparisons that it's kind of like Splatoon before playing it because that put my
It's
expectations way too high. It's not. So it's unfair to compare it to that.
because Splatoon is good.
But everybody was saying it was like Splatoon. So
yeah,
we were
so I was
oh,
expecting
boy.
it to be like Splatoon. Like if I had gone in without hearing that and I was just playing it, I would have still not liked it because I don't like the controls and like the gameplay. But like,
it still would have sucked, but it wouldn't have been like
it's fine.
This is.
But I just really didn't like it now because I was like, oh, I was expecting Splatoon, and this is nothing like that.
It's closer to a battle royale than Splatoon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it is a battle royale.
Yeah.
So Story of
not
Seasons,
Splatoon.
Friends of Mineral Town. Can't forget that. Remake of my favorite Harvest Moon game of all time. And
that was about that.
I've got the Strawberry Cow plush sitting right on top of my computer at this moment, staring at me.
I've got the one from the one I bought.
Oh.
I'm not sure where that is right now.
Puyo Puyo Tetris 2.
Oh yeah, that's true. That released.
Yeah.
There was a lot of games. There's just not a lot of major announcements.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
a lot of games that were either like or already been out on other platforms, or really cool but
both
also
people.
very frustrating at the same time. Like it's cool that it's here, but this could have been done better, and everyone knows it. Doom Eternal also getting delayed a bunch and then made digital only kind of sucked for Switch. I feel like that was a big blow. I hated seeing that.
That's not great.
And like, I'm pretty sure it runs like pretty well. I mean, I have the original Doom remake on my Switch, and it runs great for what it is. It's no RTX 3080, but it runs really well, especially portably. So I assume the Doom Eternal runs just as well. I just didn't look into it. I got super turned off by that being delayed, and then by the time it came out, I wasn't really interested in it anymore. And I ended up getting it. I think I actually have it on PC now, which doesn't count as a Switch release, I guess. But yeah, I mean that's about all I can really think of. There's a bunch of, we got a bunch of other games too, but those are all like cross-platform, like Outer Worlds and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess that's gonna wrap up the show for us this week. Let us know what you thought of the Nintendo Switch's 2020 year, what your favorite games were, and what you thought they could have done better, if anything. We thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. Please share us with a friend if you like it. Comment on the YouTube video. Tell us what you think. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Don't forget to rate Mayo's intro a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, tell me if you want a card game podcast.
And and berate Cameron for being a scalper.
Oh,
I'm not a scalper. I'm not a scalper.
And don't forget to pay your respects to Mario.
Bro,
Please leave your obituaries in the comments.
Cameron's like, I am not a Krusty Krab. Is this the Krusty Krab? I'm not a Krusty Krab. Anyway, so yeah, share us with a friend. We are up every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Central Time. Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube.com/StormwindGames. We hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.